All right, I'm very glad to see all of you are here. Today's Thursday. Chaya, good morning. How are you, dear? Oh, Hashem. Hannah.
Hi. Good morning, Rabbi.
Are your parents still in town?
No, they're not.
They went?
They're coming back in February, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that for that.
They returned to their shlichus?
Yeah.
Leah,
Good morning.
good morning. Don't let me interrupt your coffee. Malka.
Good morning.
Good morning, Malka. Rachel, is Rachel still coming? Rivka, no, Rivka's not here. Mrs. Shapiro.
Here.
Mrs. Shapiro, we're going to see you tomorrow.
No, I don't come on Friday. That's why I'm not here. I don't come on Monday.
Where do you live?
In Crown Heights.
Oh, so you're making Shabbos.
Yeah.
Rachel Chana, yes. Where's Rachel Chana? She usually sits there. Oh, she always sits beside Mrs. Shapiro, so that's where exactly where I looked. Batya didn't get here yet.
No, she's at home.
Yaira, is Yaira online? No. Elena. Da. From, how do I pronounce your name? Chirazi? Chirazi, yeah? Basia Lyubov. Not. Gianna is here. I know that. Miriam. Yes, hi, Miriam. Chava? Yes, Chava. You moved out of the corner. Shiro, Tali, that's you? That's you, you're Shiro.
She did, yeah.
Your last name is Cohen?
Cohen Saban.
Cohen Saban. And you are? Ilani.
Two names. Yeah, it's 2 days.
Right there. Ilani from Argentina. Is there anybody whose name I did not call? Everybody was counted for everybody. Okay. What we have to discuss today is the difference between inside and outside. Everybody knows what inside is, and everybody knows what outside is. But what does it mean in terms of our character? Everything in the world has a spiritual source. It says about trees, plants, that there is not a growing thing in the world that doesn't have a particular angel that strikes it and tells it, grow. So Hashem creates it out of nothing. But there's an angel that tends to it and gives it the orders to grow. Everything, in other words, has a spiritual source to it, a soul. Everything has a soul, even stones. Famous set of novels from England in which the trees are active characters. They talk, they communicate, they move. Who is this quietly came in? Batya. I saw. And Batya and Batya. Batya, Basya Lyubov, that's you? Yes. And Batya Yagadanov. Yagadanov. Okay, wow, what a wonderful class. So the Rebbe says in the Sikha for this week in Parshas Vayechi that normally people think that the reality of things is right here, and there's a spiritual source. The Rebbe says it's really the other way around. The reality of things is a spiritual reality. And the way things are in the world, that's a reflection. It's a reflection of the reality. What does it mean inside and outside? You have life and energy that's within you. And you have garments that you wear on the outside. Your garments speak to the world about what's on the inside. Now, there are two important words that I want to introduce to you from our Jewish vocabulary. The word, I'm sure you've heard this word plenty of times, panimius. The root of the word panimius is panim. Anybody know what's on what I look like right now? No, all you see now is my back, right? Now you see my front. When you walk down the street and you see somebody, you see their back, you don't know what they look like, if they're young, if they're old, if they're nice looking, if they're not like nice looking, if they have very kind face or very rough, troubled face, if they're smiling. Or if they're sad. Because you see their panim. Their panim is their face. Hashem Yiddish panim has a beautiful Jewish face. The face tells you everything. The face tells you so much. From the eyes, like this, cartooning, okay? Here's a person, here's a happy person, unhappy person. Interesting. Happy again, okay? Angry. Your face is full of expression. It tells you what's going on inside. Panemius is what's going on inside. It's connected with sincerity. Hypocrisy, what is hypocrisy? Hypocrisy is summed up by the phrase, one thing on the outside and one thing on the inside. This world is called in Hasidus, the world we live in. Miss Hasid?
Yeah, I'm here.
I know, I saw you. This world is called a false world. Olam HaSheker, the world of lies. Why? Why is it so terrible? And therefore it's equated with darkness. Because in darkness, you can't see where you are. Go in the country in the summertime, there's no lights on the street. You go into the woods, you don't know what's happening. You could fall into a pit and not even realize it. Could break a leg, heaven forbid. It could be terrible. Wild animals come out in the darkness. They can see well in the dark, and it's very frightening. This world is called the world of darkness because it's a world of sheker, of lies. The same way, in the darkness, you could be standing beside a cliff and you don't feel you don't feel nervous because you don't know that you could fall to your death, and heaven forbid, in one wrong step. And you could be standing beside a treasure and you're not excited because you don't see it because it's dark. So similarly, in this world, which is called the world of darkness, it's called the world of lies, a false world, because a person can speak to you nice things and praise you, and it seems like he admires you, he cares about you, in his heart he hates you. What could be worse than that? That is hypocrisy. Or they say, in short, one thing in your heart and one thing in your mouth. And they're not the same. A sincere person, his mouth and his heart are the same. Echad b'peh v'echad b'leiv. What's in his mouth is what's in his heart. That's a person who's trustworthy, reliable, admirable. That person is called a sincere person, and the term for it is a panimi. He is a panimi. He's sincere. His feelings and his behavior, they're in harmony. He's not a bluffer. He's not faking it. He's for real. That's inside. That's called inner. Or inwardness. These are important terms in Hasidic thought, because this is what we strive to be. We want to be real people. We don't want to try and fool the world, because you know why? The world can tell. So you try to fool the world, you're not fooling anybody. You're only fooling yourself. What's the opposite? The opposite is the word for that's inside is panemius, lifnim here. The word for inside is lifnim. Like the expression, a person who, we have Jewish law, and we have people who live by the law exactly. They live right on the border. They do everything exactly right, but they're just on the border. They're borderline Jews. Girls, don't be a borderline Jew, because if you're on the border, one step you're outside. You're outside the camp. So therefore, people want to go beyond the letter of the law. That's called lifnim, beyond mishura sadin, beyond what the law allows. So that's all from the root panemius. Now the word outside is from the root chutz. Chutz means outside, like chutz la'aretz, outside of Eretz Yisrael. Chutz la'aretz, outside of the land of Israel. A person who is an external person external as opposed to internal. What he does is only superficial. Superficial means on the outside. You see, in the word superficial, we have the word face. And this is like not the real face, superficial. It's the outside. Just a person who lives a superficial life. Everything is just for looks. But the inside, it looks very nice, but the inside is not so nice. The inside could be rotten. So that refers to a person. The adjective in Hebrew is called a chitzain. So a sincere person is called a panimi, and an insincere person is a chitzain. Because what he does is hitzonius. So we have panimius and we have chitzonius, two opposites. The biggest insult for a Hasidic person is if you call him a chitzain, a superficial person, not a real person. But you're going to complain to me and say, but Rabbi, it's too hard. Don't worry. The Torah reassures us. Our sages who are so wise teach us. Let a person do a thing for the wrong reason. Don't wait till you're a panimi to do the right thing. Do the right thing anyway. Even if you say, but I'm not sincere, I don't really mean it. I don't want to keep Shabbos. I don't feel anything. I don't want to put on tefillin. I don't believe in all this. Don't make that mistake. Even if you're turned off, even if you're cold, even if you're skeptical, do it anyway. Say the sages, a person should, let's take learning Torah. The real way to learn Torah is to learn Torah with inwardness, to know that you're learning the wisdom of God. That's wonderful. Doesn't affect me. I don't get excited by it. I don't even know if I believe in it. Here she is. Thank you for coming. Better late than never. When you come late, that's also by divine providence. That Hashem wants you to hear exactly what you're going to hear, and whatever you missed, you didn't have to hear. You can come into the last minute to hear one word that sets you up for the whole day. So never stay outside thinking, I don't want to come late. Come late. If you have to. But come on time is better. So the Torah says the best way to learn is to learn lishma. Lishma is the key word here. Lishma is better. Lishma means for the sake of Hashem's name. I'm doing it for the right reason. I'm doing it lishma. I'm learning Torah because it's Hashem's Torah. Another person may say, well, I want to learn Torah because I feel smart. I feel like I know what I'm doing. It makes you feel good. I want to learn Torah because I want to get a good shidduch. I want to learn Torah because I want my daughter to get a good shidduch. I want to learn Torah so I can be a rabbi. It makes me feel great to be a rabbi. I'm going to talk and teach. Everybody's going to look up to me. That's not lishma. I want to learn Torah because I want to get an award. I want to learn Torah because I want to get a scholarship. There were people in Europe, they lived in such poverty. Some young people, they realized the only way that they were ever going to get out of the poverty was if they applied themselves to learning Torah, and they would get advanced in the yeshiva system because if they were brilliant, and a rich person would take them for his daughter. That's not lishma. That's learning with a motive. That's learning because you have an agenda. You're learning for yourself. It says about learning Torah, If a person learns Torah because it's Hashem's Torah, because he wants to be connected with Hashem, that's even to a certain degree selfish. Because I want to be connected to Hashem. But let's say you're doing because really it's Hashem's Torah and that's all you want. That's really lishma. Well, that's wonderful. That's the way it's supposed to be. But I'm not on that level, Rabbi. What did we say yesterday? You're killing me, Larry. I'm not on that level. What am I supposed to do? Not learn Torah? So the sages say, no. Learn anyway. Because the only way you ever get to to know a thing is by doing it and making a mistake and learning from your mistakes. Everybody here knows how to ride a bicycle, right?
Yeah.
Nobody was born knowing how to ride a bicycle. My father had to take me on a little bicycle and hold onto the seat and run after me till I got the hang of how you do it. You have to learn. Nobody ever learned how to ride a horse without falling off. Anybody ride a horse? I fell off horses when I learned how to ride them. And the same thing with gymnastics, the same thing with a musical instrument, the same thing with writing, the same thing with social relationships, the same thing with everything. Nobody is born knowing. You have to learn, you make mistakes, and you learn from your mistakes, and you develop. And the same thing with serving Hashem. So the sages say, let a person, the proper way to learn is lishma. Let a person learn lo lishma, which means not for the right reason. Because b'toich, b'toich means within. B'toich lo lishma, by learning for the wrong reason, for a selfish reason, you will come to do it lishma. And that's the rule of life. The only way you get to do a thing for the right reason is by trial and error and making all kinds of mistakes and doing it for the wrong reason. You have to do it. So don't wait until you're perfect in order to do something right. Do something right. And do something wrong until you get it right. B'toich lo lishma. The word b'toich means through doing a thing for the wrong reason, you come to do it for the right reason. Hasidus says the word b'toich means within. We can learn this sentence a different way. B'toich lo lishma, within your learning for the wrong reason, the right reason is already there. Just it's hidden. Okay? So that means by doing a thing, b'chitzonius, when we do a thing in a superficial way, externally, just going through the motions, faking it, you come to do it, b'panimius, in an internal way for the right reasons. It may take a long time. It's not easy. Getting there is called avoda, or like they say here, avoida. Avoida is work. Avoida is your job, your task. To get from chitzonius to panimius is avoida. And you have to be like an accountant. You have to look at everything you do, everything you say, everything you think, every motion, every movement has to be for a panimius. And that's a lifetime's job. That's the job of a lifetime. Panimius is represented in the physical world by Torah, because Torah is something that you do, but panemius. You learn it. It's internal. It's in you. It's an intellectual activity. And doing mitzvahs is also a spiritual activity because you do them with love. We learned in chapter 4, the last chapter. The love of Hashem is the panemius, the inner soul and life of all the good things we do. Why do you give charity? Not because you love the poor person. You should love the poor person. You should love everybody. But basically because you love Hashem and you know this is what he does. And you want to be like him. You want to be like Hashem. Hashem gives food to everybody. So let me do a little bit. I'll do a little bit also. And fear is a feeling. It's not an external thing. It's an inner thing in your heart that I don't want to be disconnected. I don't want to be cast aside. I don't want to be an outsider. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be someone who's fighting against all the good things and all the good people and the goodness of Hashem. So that's fear. Love is I want to be connected, and fear is I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to do something that's embarrassing for me to do before the greatness of Hashem. I don't want to do something that is hateful in the eyes of Hashem. That's fear. That's all things that are panemius in our service of Hashem. So learning Torah, therefore, since it's panemius, something that's internal, learning Torah is compared to eating. Eating and drinking. Because you take the food inside of you. And when you learn Torah, you take the ideas inside of you. And the feelings that these ideas generate, which are love and fear, they're inside of you. So therefore, Torah is compared to food. The same way that food nourishes you and gives you life and energy. So when we learn Torah also, it gives us life and energy. But which level? Which level of Torah am I talking about? Well, the first level of Torah is to know the words. You have to learn how to read. First thing that happens, person comes to yeshiva, he or she has to learn how to read in order to say brachas. Before you can daven, you have to know what the words are. There's a famous story from the Baal Shem Tov of a little boy who saved the whole community because he didn't know how to read. He came to shul on one Yom Kippur day. Happened to be that there was a gezerah, a harsh decree against the Jews of the community. The Baal Shem Tov knew about it, and he was davening, and his Hasidim were davening, and the people around him felt how serious the moment was. And for all their prayers, the Baal Shem Tov kept on. He didn't stop. He didn't give up. Apparently, he wasn't able to break through and cancel this terrible decree, whatever it might have been. And people got more and more and more nervous. And this little farm boy, nobody took him to shul. He wandered in on his own, and he saw how nervous everybody was, and he didn't know how to read. Nobody ever taught him. His parents, maybe he was an orphan, doesn't say, but he didn't know how to read. He never went to cheder, never learned how to read. His little boy, he was used to taking care of the animals in the fields, the sheep maybe, little shepherd boy. But he knew how to imitate the animals. And he could make a sound like a chicken, terrific. By kaparas, all the children go to kaparas, they all come home going, yeah. Making sounds like chickens. So he knew how to do that. So in the story, they say kulkoriku. When I was a little boy, we had a cottage and there were chickens in the next door lot. And I remember the chickens going like that the whole day long. Well, he didn't go like that. He went kukuriku like that. I don't know. That's what it says in the story, kukuriku. But he said it with all his might. And the Baal Shem Tov was very happy. And then they finished davening on Yom Kippur because he said what he said with his kukuriku burst through all the gates that were locked. And since he said with all his heart, he broke the gezerah. So that's panemius. And sometimes a person can just leap like that all the way to the heart of the matter. But usually it doesn't work like that. Usually it's a long, slow way. Long. First you have to learn to read, and then you have to learn to say the words, and then you have to learn what the words mean, and then you have to try and understand what they mean. And then you have to really become unified with the ideas that are in the words. And when you daven, you're not thinking about something else. Until, in learning the ideas in the Torah, you become absolutely unified with them. And they become one thing with you. They become like engraved in your brain. And we know the difference between letters that are written on a page that can be erased and letters that are carved into stone that become one thing with the stone. So the deepest level of learning Torah, lishma, is when the words of the Torah become engraved in your mind and engraved in your heart. It's levels, 5 levels. And that's all but panemius. So and that is just like food is energy to your body. Torah is food to your soul. So King David writes in Psalms, Hashem, your words are in my kishkas. Literally. Your words are in my insides. Just like I digest food in my kishkas, your words are in my kishkas. They give me spiritually, they give me life. What about mitzvahs? Mitzvahs, you can't internalize them. Mitzvahs are things you do. They're actions, activities. So mitzvahs are compared to clothes. You eat your food, but you wear your clothes. And they work together because through learning Torah, you can, through thinking about what you're learning, you can generate feelings of love and fear. And the love and fear, says in the Tanya, chapter 41, the love and fear are like the wings of a bird. A bird without wings is kosher, but it can't fly. To fly, you need love, and one wing isn't enough. A bird with one wing just... To fly, you need 2 wings. To soar, 2 wings. Then you can soar. Love and fear. Okay? So that's the soul within the mitzvahs. So Torah puts soul into your mitzvahs. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. Do it anyway. Because you need to have the bird. So the mitzvah, the mitzvah is like a garment. A good jacket needs to have 2 sleeves for the 2 arms, which stand for the 2 emotions of love and fear. So that in Torah and in mitzvahs, we have 2 very important levels. One is called panemius, that's Torah. And then we have mitzvahs. Now, we don't want to call mitzvahs chitzonius, because chitzonius is a negative kind of term, which means insincere. So we're going to call the mitzvahs a different term, which is this, a makif. The word makif means something that's outside, surrounding. Usually on top, like, this is a makif. If Hasidim wear a hat on top of their yarmulke, it's called two makifim. Why do they wear two makifim? Because we know about two levels of godliness beyond what we see. We see the world, it's full of life. The life within the world, that's like one level. And then there's Hashem beyond all that. That's a second level. Like we learned in chapter 3, Mamali Kol Almin, to do a meditation on the way God fills the whole world with life. And to do a further meditation that what we're thinking about, that God fills the whole world with life, that's not God. He's the life of the world, but the world is not his place. He's the place of the world, but the world is not his place. He's way beyond the concept of world. He was before there was a world. Before there was a thought of the world, there was only he. So that's a makiftika idea. And when we learn Torah, there's the way we understand the Torah, that's B'Panimius. And then there's the way our mind encompasses the Torah in a makiftika way. Like the whole idea is in our mind. Our mind is a makif to the idea. And then there's the way our mind is in the Torah. The way our mind is in the idea itself becomes unified with the idea. And then there's a deeper level. The way the Torah is much greater than what we can comprehend, and it is a surrounding level of godliness. And this compares to food, to makifim, external levels, surrounding levels, transcendent levels of godliness. In general, there's a panemiustica level and a makiftika level to everything. And Torah and mitzvahs, each one emphasizes a different level, because Torah mainly is panemius, and mitzvahs are mainly makifim, panemius and makifim, internal and external. Now it says that Torah weighs against all the mitzvahs. Torah is equal to keeping all the mitzvahs. So how could that be? And the answer is, well, actually, there's a little more to this discussion, because the Talmud goes into this at length, asking which is greater, Torah or mitzvahs? You see, Torah is the wisdom of God, but mitzvahs are the will of God. So which is greater, your brains or your willpower? What do you think?
It's 2 in 1.
Huh?
It's 2 in 1.
2 in 1. Well, which is greater?
Is there
Great
an
minds
answer?
thought about
Wait,
this.
Is there an actual answer? Which one is greater?
What?
Is there an actual answer? Which one is greater?
Yeah, there is. The Torah debates this question. The Talmud debates this question at length. And the Talmud concludes that mitzvahs are greater than Torah, because mitzvahs are the will of God, and willpower is greater than brains. In other words, I've said this before, if a person really wants to, he can become smart. A person may know nothing about business, but he wants to be wealthy, he wants to be a businessman, he can learn. He can acquire the knowledge and apply himself to it. And even though he's very limited and he doesn't have a talent for it, some people are born with a talent. One of my children, before he went to Cheder, he could do arithmetic in his head. He learned also very well when he got to the age of learning. But he could do arithmetic. Only one. The others couldn't do it. He had a talent for it. So people without a talent, they can acquire a talent because willpower is stronger, so strong, it can help you to accomplish things that you're not really fit for. You could become athletic, you could become graceful, you could become a dancer, you could become a singer within limits, but you could become something that you're not through willpower. Because nothing stands in the way of willpower. And mitzvahs are from willpower. So therefore they say willpower, mitzvahs are the will of God, they're greater than Torah, which is the wisdom of God. But then there's a catch-22. Yeah, but if I don't learn the Torah, I won't know how to do mitzvahs. We'll come back to this tomorrow. We'll finish this up tomorrow. In the meantime, you got what to think about. Which is greater, Torah or mitzvahs?
Mitzvahs are greater, but you have to have Torah. Because Torah is, you have to do that's all the Torah is saying.
Thanks, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.